My 33 female late husband, before he got sick, bought a very old house that he wanted to fix up. It apparently used to be some old money family's hunting lodge, at least that's what the realtor said, that had fallen into disrepair. His intention was never to use the house as a primary residence. His justification for the purchase was that he'd grown up poor, and after he started making a lot of money, he had, for the past few decades, never spent much of it on luxuries for him or his family. He didn't wear expensive clothes or drive expensive cars. His money only ever went to safe investments or to new businesses he was able to make a success. So this was his one purchase that he wanted to make just because he could. Unlike our other homes that came in pristine condition, this home was clearly falling apart. During our 6-year marriage, I've had an okay relationship with one of his daughters. However, his other daughter has always been difficult, disliked how tight-fisted her dad was towards her mom and family, had a horrible boyfriend who already had 5 children with 2 other women by the time he was 32, but believed that after having her 4-year-old daughter that he would propose instead of leaving her, like he did. After the boyfriend left her, my husband and I let her live in the house rent-free. Thought she was supposed to start paying rent, but my husband got sick and they never communicated well. But during the year she was in the house, it continued to deteriorate quickly. After my husband died, his assets were divided between me, his nephew, and the rest in a trust for our son, preschooler. He gave each daughter $100. I told his daughter that she had to start paying $900 a month in exchange for her living in 2 adjoining rooms upstairs and being able to use the kitchen. She said that was too hard and that she was a single mom. She also got mad when I said that her boyfriend is around spending money on dates, but somehow cannot send support. After a week of contact, I handed it over to my lawyers who went through all the steps to give proper notice and then file for eviction. However, evictions take a long time in our state. It's been 4 months and it's clear my stepdaughter wants to fight it because she has no plan and below average credit. I have somebody who goes to the common area to do basic cleanup, and my stepdaughter claims depression has made her unable to clean. We always knew the house was falling apart, but after getting somebody to inspect it, my agents told me this place could easily be condemned and we wouldn't have to wait for a proper eviction. So now my stepdaughter and her kid is being forced out immediately and she's furious and says she could have made do and I was leaving her homeless. Am I the idiot for going a legally permissible route and getting the house condemned? It needed to be rehabbed, but now I'm rid of a problematic tenant. Edit, you should know that daughters were allocated $100 each in his will before we even began dating. My husband intended to give it all to his nephew, but then divided it between him, me, and our son. Why were his daughters only given $100 each, even the one you got along with? Why did you, your son, and your nephew get everything? Why did your late husband and you allow the one daughter to move into a house that was so broken down? Would your late husband want his daughter and grandchild to live on the streets? Especially when this guy had enough money to buy multiple homes in pristine condition. That's messed up. Just because something is legally permissible does not mean it is the right thing to do. You are the idiot. Putting aside everything else, going from charging $0 to charging $900 a month for 2 rooms that should be condemned and access to a kitchen, is there a bathroom included in that? What's your nasty little plan? And why are you taunting her about her ex-boyfriend spending money? It has nothing to do with anything for as long as he's not paying child support. So the only reason I can think of is to be cruel as humanly possible. Apparently in OP's mind, her stepdaughter should have followed OP's example and married an old man with money and grabbed everything she could away from her stepchildren. Evil stepmom from Cinderella is taking notes from OP. Lady, I'm sure you're the same age as the daughters and conned him into leaving them out of his will. You are the idiot, OP, and a huge one. I, 33 female, and my boyfriend, 37, went on a big beach vacation we'd been planning with 2 other couple friends for a while. I make significantly more money than my boyfriend. I'm a nurse practitioner, he's a barista, and because of this he thinks it's fair I pay for most things. I have no problem with this, I love doing fun things with him. So we're on our big vacation and having dinner at a nice restaurant, and one of his friends mentions how lucky I am to have a partner who takes care of me. I asked what he meant, and apparently my boyfriend told his friends he paid for the whole trip, along with all the other fun things we do. Concerts, nice meals, other vacations. I was shocked and I said that I paid for everything. My boyfriend got flustered and left the table. He was angry with me for the rest of the trip. Later in our room, he told me I made him look like a beater, and I had no right embarrassing him like that. Am I the idiot? I was just telling the truth. Edit, he was lying to his friends about a bunch of side hustles apparently, or maybe he was lying to me. At this point, I don't know which, honestly. Not the idiot. He should have talked to you if he wanted to lie about that, so you wouldn't let something slip. Also, it seems like a big red flag that he wants to live on your money, but still tells his friends he pays for everything so he doesn't look poor. He has no problems taking credit for your hard work. He is the beater. Dump that loser. Please break up. This will not get better. If he can lie this easily and casually to others, there's a giant chance that he's also lying to you. This guy just sounds like bad news all round. He's illogical, childish and prideful, and for what it's worth, there are plenty of men out there who can earn less than their partners and not feel emasculated. Exactly. He's 37 and a barista. Girl, ask yourself if you really want a future where you pay for everything, do all the work, and still gets all of the praise just so he can feel like an alpha. If he wants to be an alpha, then he can start by paying for his own vacation and stop leeching off of you. I married my husband 9 years ago, and with him I got a bonus child, teen Steph. She's a very sweet kid and we always get along well. The only issue is that she often goes into our room to clean or organise despite being told not to, and then loses a bunch of our stuff because she can't remember where she's put it. I've asked her to stop so many times, and she'll apologise and say she can't help it. Recently she's been doing the same with the baby's nursery. So I had the baby a few weeks ago. We had the nursery set up perfectly. All diapers and diaper wipes are on the changing table. All of her clothes were arranged by size in the closet, etc. On day 2 of being home, I entered the nursery and found it completely rearranged. I just returned from the baby's appointment. I couldn't find the diapers anywhere. My breast pump wasn't where I left it. I immediately called the school and told them to put Steph on the phone, and she had to tell me where everything was. I told her at this point that she wasn't to rearrange the nursery at all, and that if she did it again, more drastic measures would have to be taken. Well, yesterday I went to visit my mom for the day, and when I got home I was immediately met with more organising. All of the baby's clothes were now mixed in sizes and arranged by colours, and all tags had been removed, which I hadn't removed on purpose. Her bassinet was moved to the other side of the room, her diapers were put in her bassinet and taken out of the changing table, and my breast pump and rocker were now moved to the opposite side where there's not even a plug-in so I can't use it there. I immediately called my husband in and said, I told her more drastic measures would be taken if she came into this room and messed stuff up again. She's not going to the homecoming dance. My husband agrees with me and tells her. She's guilt-tripping me because I know how she is and know she can't help it. Her mom is now saying I'm ignorant and that she's still going, it's not her weekend so she has no say, and that I need to tone it down because I'm casting judgment on OCD behaviour. Edit, she has been evaluated by 3 separate specialists. They all say she doesn't have OCD and that she just has control issues, i.e. they said that her behaviours are linked to control because it's only other people's space that she's like this with. Her room is a complete mess and always has been, and she can never locate anything of her own, but she refuses to clean her room. Specialists say it's her way of controlling something around her and have rooted it to her mom basically abandoning her. She gave up custody years ago and only gets 1 weekend a month because that's all she wants. Not the idiot. First, immediately get locks for your bedroom and the nursery, preferably digital locks with a keypad. Talk with the therapist about how to work on this behaviour. Did Steph's mental health issue provoke her mom into giving up custody, or are they the result of giving up custody? Is there a way that Steph could earn back her homecoming, putting everything back in its proper place in the nursery, and writing you an apology about how the changes she made were harmful, and how she can't violate people's personal space perhaps? Yeah, I disagree with grounding her from homecoming too. Homecoming and proms are special occasions in life, things that can't be redone or replaced. Punishment needs to be firm, fair and consistent. It doesn't mean you take a rite of passage from a teen. Ground her but make it 2 weeks, but homecoming is allowed. You will gain respect instead of anger, especially since you hadn't said don't do this or no homecoming. That would be different. My niece had the same issue. The organising gave her control over her life when she had none. She also had abandonment issues as her parents left her. Therapy and DBT therapy helped her to control it. I think punishing her for what seems like a mental health issue is a mistake. OP, please get her help. My husband, 28, reads my, 33 female, diary. I never gave him permission to do it, but he does it anyway. I've always kept a diary since I was a child. My husband and I have been married for 2 years and he's never expressed any interest in my diary or me. Our marriage is okay, but I was debating whether to divorce him. I love him, but I don't think he loved me in turn. He was beautiful, charismatic, funny and intelligent, but he could also be arrogant and dismissive, and I think he's in love with his best friend. A few months ago I was hospitalized. During that time my husband read my diaries. He never told me he read them, but he was much more affectionate with me. One of my friends came up to me a few days ago and said she thinks he read my diary because he knew things that she knew I would never have told him. I asked if he read my diary. He shrugged and said yes. I asked him not to read it. He keeps reading my diary. I'm upset that he does. My husband said I shouldn't be upset because I know he reads my diary, but I write in it anyway. Some friends think my diary should be private, but some agree with my husband that I essentially gave him permission by continuing to write a diary, knowing he would read it. Am I the idiot for being upset? Edit, writing in my diary keeps me healthy and happy. I've written one since I was a child. I have particularities around my diary. I feel I shouldn't need to hide it from my husband and that he should respect my wishes not to read my diary. He's been able to not read my diary before. I tried hiding it, but he found it and made jokes about it. I felt like a child. It was humiliating. He knows that I need my diary as it helps me function. I was non-verbal as a child and struggled with selective mutism as a teenager. He finds it amusing that I can't force him to stop reading it. My husband is naturally likable, but not lovable, if that makes sense. He thinks it's a foregone conclusion that people don't love him. He thought the same of me. I've shown that I love him, but he didn't believe me. When I was hospitalized, something drove him to see if I did love him. He doesn't think I would keep a multi-year diary with lies about love. That and the hospitalization made him confident that I did love him, which made him more affectionate toward me. He thinks my diary is cute. He has zero respect for your privacy or your personal feelings. How did he even find it? Diaries should be kept in places that nosy eyes or prying minds shouldn't have access to. He's invading your personal thoughts, feelings and emotions, and then analysing you for ways he can manipulate you based on his serious violation of your privacy. How vile! You are not the idiot, but your husband 1000% is the idiot. This is a divorceable offence in my opinion. It's not about the contents of the diary, it's about the complete lack of respect. Lady, why haven't you filed for divorce? Seriously, this guy doesn't respect you, makes fun of you, and doesn't care about your feelings. This is not love. He's not a good guy. File for divorce. Stop being his doormat. Also, if I were your friend, I would never tell you anything in confidence again. I would actually completely lose trust in you as a friend. He humiliates her, laughs in her face, manipulates her, and clearly tells her he couldn't care less about her feelings and wishes. And he's apparently going to her friends, mentioning their private information back to them. So he's invading her boundaries and her friends' boundaries. This is abusive, but OP turns a blind eye. My son Kyle has 2 kids. Jay, nearly adult, with his wife, and Leah, teen with a fair partner. Kyle is the every other weekend parent to Leah while he's very involved in Jay's life. His wife won't allow him to see Leah more than that. For Jay's birthday I gave him a phone, which was a nice and generous gift. A few days ago was Leah's birthday. My other son, Caleb, adores Leah. He has a father-daughter relationship with her since Kyle is a deadbeat to her. Caleb informed me that he was planning to buy a second-hand car for her birthday and asked if I could contribute to the car as her birthday gift. I gave him $4,000 to help him buy the car, and Leah was overjoyed when she saw it. Now Carl thinks I was an idiot for giving a more expensive gift to Leah, while I think my gift to Jay was very generous and I didn't do anything wrong. Not the idiot. Your son is a massive idiot. You're making up for your son cheating on his wife, a deliberate decision, I don't care what anyone else says, and his wife is using the child that resulted from that affair to punish him. They can both suck eggs. You keep taking care of Leah, and kudos to Caleb for being a fantastic uncle, who sees the favoritism and says, "Screw that, let me see how I can fix it." You are the idiot, so Kyle is playing favourites, deadbeat. You're playing favourites, totally okay. Regardless of what was purchased, car, etc., you gave $4,000 as a gift and just a phone to Jay. Keep the gifts consistent across your grandkids. At the end of the day, I don't care what Kyle thinks about all this. He lost his right to an opinion on how you treat Leah. I care what Jay thinks. Was Jay upset? Was Jay bent out of shape? Does Jay already have a car? Yes, the phone is nice, but it's not $4,000, so yes, you played favorites, and it's Jay's feelings you need to be concerned with. You need to chat with Jay and let him know that you didn't help buy the car to hurt his feelings, and you wanted to ensure he knows you love them both equally. Update: I know this is too soon for an update, but I've already decided what to do, so I'm letting you know. A few minutes ago, Caleb's wife sent me the $4,000 I gave him. They told me to buy a phone for Leah so that I'm not treating them any differently. So basically, Leah will be getting a phone from me and a car from Caleb and his wife. I know this isn't fair to Jay, but I can't control how they spend their money, so it is what it is, and I guess Leah will be much happier with this outcome.